please, 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 please make more. So far they've only made a tutorial and that makes me sad. If any of the developers are watching this, I love it. But is there any chance of optimizations? It runs like a fat asthmatic kid who left his inhaler to his grand's 2 days ago for doing a handstand on a bike. AKA not so good. I really want to play more of it, but I also want to play it better. The 20 frames per second are fine in this game. A bit disappointing, but fine. The only drawback is that it really gets hard to keep your bearings. It confuses me more than the mental image of my nan doing a backflip at the drop of a heavy dubstep song in a stripper club. I ended up spending 5 minutes trying to find my village, then trying to find my warriors, then trying to see buttons hidden in walls. So far the tutorial is okay, it's just kind of slow. I got an hour into it and I had to go out, so I shut the game, and when I came back I cried more than I did when I accidentally did the splits at a school disco when I was 4. All of my progress was gone. I think they must still be working on the save button. For an early game, which is still in some odd kind of beta slash alpha slash early access stage in which the game runs and makes some funny jokes and taunts you at how you can't actually play the game, but you have to play the tutorial all while ruining your keyboard because you're unknowingly dribbling all over it. The game is amazing, what there is of it anyway, and I can't wait for any future updates. We may or may not have an interview coming, so look out for that.
To our new village. Let's practice. We should set to work building a windmill and planting wheat fields that can be harvested.
Okay, so I am going to talk to you about what's going on the screen right now. So I just built a windmill. The tutorial just shows you the first few buildings, or shows you all the buildings that you need to make. The first one is a windmill, and once you build a windmill it lets you build a wheat field, so later on you can build different kinds of farms. You can build chicken coops and things. When you build a building, obviously there's a certain trade, so with a windmill it's farming. You select a peasant, because everyone defaults as a peasant, and then you train them. Most jobs you can only train men in, not women. And things like working in a bar or something, only women can do. So I trained a farmer there, and now I'm building a woodcutter's hut. So this is kind of interesting because you have to capture the lumber camp, it's a resource, and build a woodcutter's hut. So it's very much like a capture the flag game. When you capture a resource, you actually have to capture 3 different resources in the first tutorial. That's the woodcutter one, the iron one, and the stone one. They're very easy, but because I'm trying to run through this and do it all very quickly because I've had lots of trouble with recording, so I do kind of a power playthrough, and I try and optimize everything. So I select the guy that I'm going to train first, and sometimes I actually get the men to capture the resources before I actually need them, which is kind of interesting. It just kind of speeds everything up. So you see here, that guy went to capture a iron resource, and you can see the circle has started to disappear. So once this woodcutter's hut is built, I'm going to train a peasant to use it, and then we're going to capture a resource node, I keep wanting to call it, and it's happening now. So that's a logging camp that we're capturing. You can see the quest log on the right underneath the minimap. The minimap's really confusing, and generally moving around and navigating your way around gets really confusing, so that's one thing they could fix before they start calling it a done game. You saw there I captured the iron resource there. That's just before anything else. You're not supposed to do it yet, but I still did it anyway. I think that's actually a stone one, not an iron one. The next thing that I need to build is a iron smelt, which is up above the stone building. So obviously you build the iron smelt, and then you train a miner by putting the sending the peasant into the iron smelt. Now, when I build an iron smelt, it actually spawns 3 rat things that I need to kill, and they're very easy to kill. So I just kind of send a group of send a group of peasants over to start punching them. It's not that bad. The only problem I have had with those things is that when they die, so when things die, obviously you can loot them, but the looting system seems really dodgy because when I click, it doesn't always do it. So there may be like a 5 to 10% chance of actually getting it. So I have to spam my mouse button on where the loot would be. So here I prepared the. Yeah, there you go. You saw them spawning there. So you can see the sparkles on the ground, that's where they've dropped things and I can loot them. And I had to click a lot of times there to be able to pick that up. And so far I can't actually see how any of this is useful. How you can actually use any of the stuff you pick up. Obviously gold you use to train people and build things, I think. You do. It doesn't really show you what you use resources for. I haven't really noticed needing to worry about that. When I was first playing this game, I likened it to Kenshi because I'd recently been playing Kenshi, which is another indie game. Well, I don't know if this is an indie game. It's an indie game, and it's relatively similar to this. You build towns and then you upgrade, but it's not the same because the aim of the game in Kenshi isn't to build a town. It's just you can build a town. That seems the most interesting thing to do. So here's the Stonecutter's Lodge, and after this we go into a cutscene which is of some ogres, and they're a bit ghetto, to be honest. They're a bit hardcore, so I'll be quiet for that bit.
New building options are available. Oh, is that it, bruv? What did the big man say? Big man? He says he's been talking to them Weirfu monks who is like all the way up on the mountain, innit? Innit though? They is proper in the clouds. And they see all these like filthy human beings getting comfy on our turf. All building villages and thing, you get me, bruv? I hear you, man. So the big man reckons they is all our property and he'll get some wicked coin for them, innit? What's the plan? We go down there and they're all like, oh no, please don't make us into slaves. And we like take them back up to the big man. They got any protection, bruv? Nah, man, that's the best thing. They got nothing. Let's do this. I hear you, man. Let's do it. Listen up. He was all the property of the slave master Urzal. He is taking some of you to be his slaves. The rest of you better shut it, or we will take all of you. This is our village now. You get me, yeah?
Well, I guess we ain't alone on this island no more.
So what are we gonna do, lads?
Well, we can't just leave them to the goblins, can we, dear boy? We should go and rescue them.
But we're not soldiers and we ain't got no swords or nothing.
If we don't go and get them back, them goblins will be thinking we's all just here like turkeys waiting for Thanksgiving.
We need volunteers. Good, brave lads who can go on a rescue mission.
What about you, Bernard? After all, they did take your wife.
Well, I'm sure she'll be fine.
Well, I can't go. I've got, important buildings to make.
Shoot, I can't go. I've got important, logs to chop.
And I've got, important, holes to dig.
Hey, didn't they also take Jethro the farmer?
What?
They took Jethro. You know, the farmer.
But that means...
What?
That means that we can't grow wheat.
So?
If we can't grow wheat, then we can't make bread.
So?
If we can't make bread, then...
What is it, man?
That means we can't have toast. That's it, boys. We're going to get Jethro.
Aren't you forgetting someone?
Oh yeah, best get the wife too. Let's get tooled up.